Okay, so this is a guide to the blogging project that we've been working on, and I've chosen to do it through solar taxonomy, so hopefully it will further explain how solar taxonomy can be used in the classroom, and underpin some of the work we've looked at around solar taxonomy as well. So to then, the majority of you will potentially have started the year at this phase. This is the pre-structural stage. So if we're applying this to your blogging, in your learning, you would think, I don't know anything about this. I may have heard of a blog, but I have no idea how it can be used in the classroom. So everything that I know about is just I have questions. I really don't understand anything to do with it, which is fine. That gives you a starting point. And you have those questions, and then we can start to unpick those things. Hopefully we're past this point in our project. Hopefully you understand a little bit more about what a blog is, but in terms of understanding it from a solo point of view, this would be I know nothing. So this next stage is that I know one thing about blogging. I may have seen a blog before, I may have an idea about how you set up a blog, but fundamentally it's I've just got one idea around this whole blogging idea. So from your point of view, the people that are part of the group, it could be, I know that Matt wants to get us to set one up, and that might be the one thing you know about the blog. Still just early stages of learning. You might be a little bit more aware. You may have seen a few more blogs, and seen some probably more educational used blogs, and have kind of an idea of what it's about. Still not really developed the idea of what it can do for you though. This next stage then is starting to piece things together. So we have hopefully gone through this stage in the sense of I've done the training on what a blog is and what it looks like, and certainly how to set it up. So you should all now have a blog set up that you may or may not have started putting anything on. And that's fine, because we're at that point where you've got a little bit more of an understanding about it. You know how to set the blog up, you know how to put things on the blog, and you know how to share it with others. So still just piecing just little bits together, but we're still not at that stage where it's having much impact. What's it doing? What, is it actually sharing anything with the world? Is it developing students' understanding? Is it supporting you in your lessons? We need to start making those links. That's when the next stage comes in then. So this is the relational stage. This is where you take all of that knowledge that you've had before and you actually start to apply it. So at this stage now, there might be some people in the group that are thinking, oh, okay, this is having an impact. I can see where my students are going. I can start to see that the use of the blog is having an impact on student progress. I can certainly use it to inform my future planning because I'm using it as a reflective space to say, this lesson we did this is how it went, this is what we need to do to improve next lesson, so it can become part of a planning tool. If you're at this stage, that they should be the thoughts that are going through your mind. You should have worked out the purpose for the blog. The last stage then is the extended abstract. This is where you kind of start to really take that blog and adapt it for further uses. And this is kind of what I wanted to focus on in terms of where we're going to go with the blogs. Now, we're at the moment looking at how we use the iPads in the classroom and what impact they have on teaching and learning. And so some of the tools that we've looked at so far, Explain Everything, Socrative, Class Dojo, Edmodo, all of those things, I think what you need to now start doing if you're at this stage is demonstrating through your blog how those bits of technology are impacting on teaching and learning. So I know some people in the group have talked about flipped learning and talked about using videos possibly made on Explain Everything or Shadow Puppet or one of those other tools that we've looked at, and actually thinking about how they might be able to develop students' understanding further. So we've got these tools that we can now start to document things that are happening in the lesson, preload lessons by doing some resources, making some resources at home or before lessons, or even getting students to make those resources and then sharing them with the students, either through Edmodo, some people are using Edmodo, or through your own blog, just getting the students to view the blog at home, which I know some people are doing, and it's having impact on where they're going with their learning. What would be great on your blog now is to really think about embedding the things that you're doing, talk about the things that you're doing, share it with the parents so the parents can get an understanding of what's going on, and to just get that sense of enthusiasm through the class about how the things you're doing are actually going to impact on their teaching and learning, so it gives it some value. So just to summarise, your learning has moved from not knowing what a blog is to maybe knowing something about a blog, to knowing a little bit more about how to make a blog, what a blog might look like, what it might contain, to then making the links between what the blog is all about and how it's going to actually impact on student learning and student progression and inform planning, to then finally really thinking about synthesizing what that blog is and all of the future benefits it could bring to your classroom. Is it going to impact on just your class, or could that blog be taken and used to impact on other classes? Because it's got a web link, it can be shared with anybody around the world, and you could set up joint blogging projects between your class and a class in Australia that's doing something similar. You could be doing something on modern foreign languages, and you could set up a joint blog between your class and a class in Spain and actually start to share different use of languages using the technology that you've got. So lots of ideas. Obviously we're going to continue working through these, but just try to think where you are in your stage of using the blog, and then think about what you might need to move to the next stage. I'll create some more resources to go with this, just to document exactly what each stage might look like, but hopefully this makes up for the missed session last Wednesday.